Ladies and gentlemen, when people say, well, there's not enough evidence to impeach Biden or even indict Hunter, this is, of course, complete nonsense. Chuck Grassley, Ted Cruz, Kevin McCarthy, Matt Gaetz, the Republican Party have financial records, bank statements, hundreds of millions of dollars in money flowing into accounts associated with Hunter and Joe from people and organizations and countries around the world. That those business transactions are linked to emails asking for influence. You already have enough to indict. You have more to indict. You have more evidence to use in a court of law to prove lawbreaking and illegal activity against Hunter and Joe than you do with Trump. With Trump, you have accusations filtered through liberal sensibilities. So in Georgia, they're accusing him of a racketeering scheme. For the RICO statutes, you need an organization, a criminal organization. They've only and that they don't have a criminal organization. They've indicted a former president, his cabinet, his attorneys, and Republicans from that state who were not part of any specific organization. They all were like-minded and agreed that very, very bizarre things took place, and they don't agree with the outcome and the results, which Democrats didn't agree with the outcome and results. Then they play this stupid semantic game. Well, we conceded. It's like, no, Stacey Abrams never truly conceded. Still always believed that Kemp that Kemp in Georgia cheated her. So you look, ladies and gentlemen, and Clinton never truly conceded. Always blamed the Kremlin for Trump defeating her in 2016. So there's different types of concessions. Moving out of the Oval Office, I think, is the greatest concession. He's no longer there. You don't see Trump and like parked outside the White House in an RV, like with a megaphone saying, "Get out! This is my house." He had already left. They're still after him. They were petrified that he wouldn't leave. The man left, and still they've indicted him. In New York, they indicted him for hush money payments. The FEC fined Clinton for the Steele dossier. The FEC did not fine Trump. I mean, we can go on and on. The speech in January, terrible day, but that was, after an entire summer of $1 to $2 billion plus in property damage. I agree with why people demonstrated peacefully, but not the billions of dollars in property damage. Then you have a speech that Trump performed where he used the words peacefully and patriotically. He did not tell anyone to commit a criminal act, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation did not find that it was organized in any way. So January was not organized. Georgia, there was no specific organization to overturn anything. The phone call with the state official was completely above board. In fact, it ended with the state official saying, "Thank you, Mr. President." And so you look, and there's more than enough evidence to impeach and indict. And we can go through the evidence right here, but this is from Chuck Grassley's office. They have bank records associated with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. I mean, given to them by the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Finally, they obtained the records. Grassley, James Comer, Jim Jordan, all of these people. And so you have this. They might just be waiting until November of 2024 to impeach and just, make certain that the impeachment is right before people go to the polls. But there's no reason. Matt Gaetz is 100% right. There's no reason why you can't start the impeachment proceedings today, tomorrow. Okay, you can do that. And so here's just one example. Grassley obtains and releases Federal Bureau of Investigation records alleging VP Biden foreign bribery scheme. It's right there. Okay, then you have Ted Cruz, Hunter's email to business partners infers direct access to classified information. Okay, I mean, it's not like he's just gonna coincidentally or it's not like he's gonna be able to write an email that highlights classified information to facilitate business deals without actually having access to the classified data. Huge risk to national security. Not a former president with the power to declassify. So you already have. I mean, when Matt Gaetz, the rivalry between Matt Gaetz and Kevin McCarthy is heating up, and I think that Matt Gaetz is right. You have to expedite all of this because Democrats have basically the entire American media as an extension of their political party. So you have to go ahead and, at least for the 4 or 5 or 6 conservative publications out there, you have to go ahead and address these, like the rampant criminality on the Democratic Party side. You can't just expect media to give you a be fair and neutral, like the DNC primary in 2016, which of course wasn't. Debbie Wasserman Schultz was forced to resign. Okay, so they cheated Bernie Sanders. Trump has every reason in the world to believe he was treated in the same way. And here you have an example. So you only need one member of Congress to force a no confidence vote. But if you look, ladies and gentlemen, there should have been an impeachment proceeding immediately after Trump lost by Republicans, or I'm sorry, when Republicans last year took over the House. But here, okay, dear Hunter, so thank you for inviting. He's talking about meeting the vice president, so that obviously Biden lied. But you have advice on how you can use your influence on the company's behalf. It's right here. Okay, a 2014 email. Advice on how you can use your influence on the company's behalf. It's an email that is more than enough to indict, more than enough to impeach. It's right there because you also have the money flow and the laptop. Okay, he's literally being asked for advice on how you can use your influence on the Hunter's being asked for advice by a corporation that benefited from Joe forcing out a prosecutor that was eventually going to investigate the corporation. Okay, the entire world sees this. The entire planet sees all of this. And the Democratic Party sees this also, but they don't care. So you can have as much evidence as you want. Democrats will never be a Watergate moment where, both political sides say, okay, this is really bad. With the Democratic Party, see, you'll have Republicans saying, oh, Trump is mean. But you'll never have Democrats saying, yeah, money given to to politicians or the people associated with politicians for favors is illegal. They won't even admit that. So it's like these crimes, these business transactions linked to emails asking for influence are obvious crimes. Okay, these are multi-million dollars, in some cases hundreds of millions of dollars in business deals that are linked to emails asking for influence. And then you have Biden boasting about withholding $1 billion in loan guarantees. Okay, and so unless a prosecutor is forced out, okay, you have a prosecutor being forced out in another country that he was supposed to be the point person on. That country, when he became president, invaded by you know who. Okay, so it's a complete and utter mess. But here, all you need is one member. So the motion to vacate, okay, so all you need is a single member. It's right here. One of the key concessions made by Republican leader Kevin McCarthy was to restore the ability of a single member to call for a no confidence vote. So all you need is a single member, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. Matt Gaetz is forcing this. It's actually like it's heating up. The rivalry is heating up, ladies and gentlemen, and it's actually a very, very good thing. You have Kevin McCarthy, who probably either doesn't want to deal with the media meltdown because media will go to bat for Democrats immediately. They'll circle the wagons and they'll say, "Oh my God," or he'll say he might be just waiting until 2024 and waiting until November. Either way, you have to start earlier. You cannot allow the airwaves to be dominated by really absurd, outlandish allegations, indictments of Trump, where it's obvious they're going after their direct political rival. With this, you're not really going after your direct political rival. These are obvious. This is overt criminality. It's not, you can say, well, it's a Republican going after a Democrat, but there's a difference. This is overt criminality. With Trump, they're just accusing them of everything under the sun like they always do, and hoping they get some kind of conviction, which would eventually be overturned by the Supreme Court. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now.